Welcome to the Cheat Sheet, where we decode success for creators, professors, and business owners. I'm your host, King Musa, and today we're diving into the world of university growth and development with a focus on how institutions like SFA are advancing their mission. Joining us today is Mrs. Jill Steele, Vice President for University Advancement at Stephen F. Austin State University. Jill leads the effort to grow and support the university through fundraising, alumni relations, and building strategic partnership. We're excited to learn more about her journey and the incredible impact university advancement has on the future of SFA. Welcome, Mrs. Steele.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Musa.
Welcome. So it's October. It's getting chilly outside. I gotta know, what is your favorite Halloween costume?
Favorite Halloween costume is Ricky Bobby's wife from Talladega Nights movie.
What year was this?
I don't know, but older than you probably.
You know what? With how social media works now, I hope we can find a picture.
I want you to watch
I'm
it.
gonna take the time out to find a picture of that. Yes, ma'am. So let's go ahead and get started. Can you introduce yourself and what you do here at SFA?
Yes. So I've been here 30 years this month.
Wow.
Yeah, I started when I was 12. And the entire time I've been in some form of advancement for the university. And advancement essentially means the outward-facing unit or the outward-facing face of the university. So it involves fundraising, which we call development here and in the industry, and then alumni relations and engagement, which helps us with fundraising. And then more recently, we've added university marketing communications, which is outward facing, dealing with the media and also your marketing efforts. So anyway, I've stepped through it from fundraising, adding in alumni relations, now adding in marketing communications, and it's been a fun ride.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's too exciting. Okay, slow down. We're not even in the career year. We'll find out more about that. But let's take a step back. Where are you from? Did your parents go to college? And where did you find this interest in university admin?
Yes, good question. First of all, I was born and raised in Nacogdoches.
Yes, ma'am.
So at the point I was to select a college, I was ready to get away from mom and dad and Nacogdoches and grow up a little bit. So at some point after that, after graduating from Texas A&M University with my undergrad and living in the Dallas area for a couple years, I came back to marry a local man, my husband. And so at that point, I was looking for a job. My background was in marketing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd worked in retail studies and sales. And so someone approached me about the job at the university. And I said to them, what is development? What is advancement? What does this mean? And they said,
I'm asking
fundraising.
the same question.
And I kind of cringed because I felt very uncomfortable thinking I was going to ask people for money.
Yeah.
And especially for money, for an institution that's funded at that point in time, by the state. It still is, but to a lesser degree. So anyway, I took the job, and it's really all about relationships and selling the university to others. And we all take great pride in what we do over there and have been really successful growing that program from about, originally 2 to 3 people.
Yes, ma'am.
And now to a much larger unit where we just finished our greatest capital campaign for the university in 2023 that coincided with the 100 years, raising over $120 million, primarily in endowments that will help the institution in perpetuity, so permanently, and then helping build some structures here on campus and whatnot. So anyway, we love what we do. It's exciting every day. Every day's a new day.
Yes, ma'am. Now, we do got to take a step back, though. We are going to dive into, advancement, university advancement. But I wanted to know, did your parents go to college too?
Yes, I left that out, didn't I? Yes. So both of my parents did. Okay. They were first gen.
Right.
My mom is a lumberjack, my dad an Aggie, and my mom actually got her master's here as well. So
so you followed your dad. Okay.
Yeah. And again, that was because my parents weren't raised right here in Nacogdoches, close enough in East Texas. But when you do, you feel like, you want to go and see other parts of the state and the world just in general. So Anyway, it was, and my parents truly believed in higher education and what it
Right.
did for them. And so, anyway, after I came back to SFA and began
Mhm.
working here, I also earned my Master's of Business Administration
Okay.
as well.
There
So,
we go. All right. We
yeah,
got an SFA degree. I love it.
yeah.
Now, I do want to know when you're not doing marketing, when you're not doing all the university stuff, fundraising, all of that, what do you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies and interests and passions?
That's a very good question. It's been 3 children, all
Yeah.
boys for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
And just in the last, I want to say 60 days, my husband and I are empty nesters. So we're trying to figure out what our hobbies are going to be
Okay.
after raising those 3 boys. And I guess my husband and I like to work out
Mhm.
both in the gym and outdoors,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
sort of thing. And we're heavily involved in our church
Yes, ma'am.
and SFA. We're
Yeah.
heavily involved in SFA and all the events
Yeah.
and whatnot here in the town that really make our town what it is today.
So is it like revisiting? Do y'all get to revisit college again now? Like the kids are gone. So you're like, well, we might as well go to college too while we
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the next degree now that I have more time on my hands. But yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I love it. Okay.
absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so now let's dive into the being the vice president of university advancement. What is your vision for that? How do you connect the whole thing and kind of help us get a better understanding?
Okay, so in advancement, we're working in our unit and our division just like everybody else is, but
Mhm.
you got to think about it as a university.
Right.
As a whole, let me say, as a whole. And so in our marketing communications efforts, we're not just doing fundraising. We're
Right.
thinking about the institution's needs and greatest need being, to increase enrollment,
Yes, ma'am.
keeping students, retaining students
Right.
here, helping them be successful. So everything that we do, whether it's raising student scholarships,
Mhm.
or it is getting our alumni engaged to the point that they want to do something for SFA and
Yeah.
give back. And sometimes it's not just monetary gifts, it's
Mhm.
volunteering, it's helping recruit others.
Mhm.
Because, our alumni base is a third Houston, a third Dallas, and a third East Texas.
Right, right.
So they can do a lot for us outside of East Texas in those Dallas, Houston markets
Okay.
to help us recruit students. So again, it's not just monetary gifts, it's all types of gifts.
Of course.
And then in marketing communications, it's everything at the institution.
Yes, ma'am.
It's really trying to engage prospective students and parents in our social media, in our website.
Right.
But like you had said earlier to me offline, really spreading the word about all these opportunities here on campus to be
Mhm.
successful in the classroom.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
all the programs we offer, all the organizations we offer, that sort of thing.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
and also putting it out there in the media as well.
Right.
Anyway, for what that's worth.
That's exciting. That sounds, we might become best friends. I feel like we're doing the same thing, except you get the big bucks and I just get to bother y'all.
Hey, you need to come work with us.
Yes, ma'am. I like that. So I do want to know, how did we get back to SFA? I know you brought it up briefly, of how you got back to SFA, but let's get back to that of graduating from Texas A&M and then getting to SFA and then getting into the position of VP.
Yeah, well, I was just very fortunate. So my years in undergrad, I was studying, as I said, retail studies and
Mhm.
sales, and I took a job with Neiman Marcus Corporate. So I was in the
Right.
buying offices there for 2 years, and really supporting the retail sales area by supplying inventory. And so when coming here, there was nothing like that
Yeah.
in Nacogdoches. So it was very difficult. So it
Mhm.
took some time, but I did some odd jobs in TV,
Right.
advertising sales, and some other things like that
Yeah.
until I just fortunately had somebody approach me about the job here
Mhm.
and knew what I did and knew that I had that sales background.
Yes,
So they
ma'am.
felt like I would be a fit for fundraising.
Okay.
So,
That's cool. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Then once we got here and you talked about building it up, so what was kind of the vision for what we wanted? I mean, we mentioned increasing enrollment, and then emphasizing everything just a role, but as far as just the vision of we want to see, because who did I speak to before? When I spoke to the mayor, he said SFA is once Dr. Weaver cleared everything up, we're at like 10.5, 10.8
Mhm. Mhm.
thousand students, and trying to get that number up and everything. So kind of, is there any sneak peek into the vision of everything?
Well, I think that Dr. Weaver, knew when he came in what
Hmm.
we were all seeing, and that was that, especially after COVID,
Right,
that enrollment had been declining. And so, how do you strategically increase enrollment?
right,
And so, he's with his outside eye, he's been able to really look inward to see where maybe some of the issues or challenges were
yes, ma'am.
and help us clean those up and help us focus in all aspects
Right,
on really prioritizing, the student and prospective student.
yes,
So
ma'am.
again, about like not only recruiting but retaining them.
Right, right.
And you want them all to be successful and actually graduate. So
Okay.
anyway, but he's with that outside eye been able to see it, maybe through a different lens.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's helped all of us
Yes, ma'am.
in planning strategically to help recruit.
Right.
So again, for me in my area in university marketing communications, it's about tweaking that website, the number one recruitment tool,
Yes, ma'am.
so that when parents and students go there, they immediately find what they're looking for when they're
Hmm.
doing their comparative analysis, and they're intrigued too.
Right.
So very, maybe a website that's very interactive
Yes, ma'am.
as well, and then social media the same for students and prospective students,
Hmm.
all of them. For current students and alumni, it's about the pride.
Hmm.
So feeling that with all the posts that we put out
Right.
there, and we also want to be branding and building that brand with
Yeah.
those prospective students and parents as well. So all of it's very important.
Ah,
But
that
I
sounds
would
so
just say,
exciting.
going back to what you said, that yes, that's true. That Dr. Weaver has come in, with a vision. He knew the challenges,
Hmm.
but he's really dug deep into it and helping find solutions.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And just yesterday, I got to hear from Mr. Derek about how they're collaborating with junior colleges and
yes,
everything. And they're just like, hey,
yes,
we're not here to steal. We're here to lead them from their junior,
that's
senior
right.
year and everything. And just hearing that, I'm like, wow. Like,
Yeah,
you don't think about, hey, we don't always have to just go for everyone that's looking for everybody, but they need something somewhere to go after they
yeah.
finish, junior college and everything. So that's good to hear. I do want to know though, what are the challenges that you face? Also, how long have you been in this position? But while being in the position, what are the challenges you face semester by semester, year by year?
Um, I've been in this particular position since about 2012.
Okay.
And I would say our biggest challenge over the last several years has been um, the rollover in presidents.
Hmm.
So what happens, especially in your fundraising world, when
Right.
you're dealing with alumni and also your local community, you they may sense there's no stability at the top, and they
Right.
don't know who the next real permanent president's going to be. And so when that happens, and you're trying to,
Mm.
you know, create this culture of excitement, it's hard
Yeah.
because you don't know the answer yet, and they're
Uncertainty.
wanting to know the
Yeah.
answer before they invest in you.
Hmm.
And so to actually raise those gifts and secure those gifts, it's a little bit more challenging for us during that time frame.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's gone on now since about 2018,
Right.
so 6 years. But I would say that's really been the biggest hurdle,
Okay.
in my world.
Yes, ma'am. Well, there's another fresh start, and I like that. Now, I do want to know though, as far as the things that are going on for student and faculty, things that they should be excited for. What are some things that y'all have coming up?
Well, students and faculty, I guess, really, the biggest impact there would be the additional dollars and funds, so to
Hmm.
speak, for scholarships. So financial aid packaging,
Right.
where where we're deficient as an institution.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
through the campaign and our success there, and now going into the silent phase of maybe the next campaign under Dr. Weaver,
Yes.
we're looking for solutions to those financial aid needs.
Hmm.
So really, for students, raising those monies to
Yeah.
help students and help students stay in school to the point of graduating
Yes,
with that
ma'am.
degree.
Okay.
And then for faculty, it's the same thing. So we raise monies for not only their departments and operations
Hmm.
that maybe they're not getting through their current budgets, and additionally, faculty support. So
Right.
when they, are traveling to attend research conferences or anything like that, and maybe the budget won't afford that,
Yes, ma'am.
we're raising monies for that, the faculty as well. And then there's staff the same, but I think you get the idea.
Right.
But that's what we find most exciting. And I think that the students, faculty, and staff would as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And, we hope that under Dr. Weaver's leadership, with his vision,
Yeah.
that we will, and he's creating a new strategic plan, that we will develop and establish a new fundraising campaign that aligns with his plan
Yes, ma'am.
and will fulfill all the needs that we have here at the institution to help elevate the university.
This is really exciting. Just to hear all the little
Mm.
pieces and everybody has a part of it. Okay, so you mentioned the biggest part, and I talk to Dean Dees about this all the time. Tethering, right? Every student has to kind of find a tethering part, something that connects them to the college that makes
Mhm.
them, feel a part of it or feel
Mhm.
included. For me, I have radio. Some other students, they have the athletes and sports and stuff like that. All the clubs, all 256 of them. Then Greek orgs. So there are tons of things here at SFA that students can be attracted to and pull them in. Ooh, I'm so sorry. But which one would you say, like, which one do you find interest in? Which one do you see, like, that's very, that's worth highlighting?
Well, I would just say in general,
Okay.
from my own experience, my kids' experience, and then students here on the
Yeah.
SFA campus, and also through our alumni stories.
Okay.
So what we hear from our alums, it's the student organization that they get involved in, and like you said, there are various.
Hmm.
It can be Greek, non-Greek. It could be anything. It could be some associated with your college, your
Yep.
department, or not.
Hmm.
But when they do get involved in an organization and they meet others that have the same passions and
Right.
whatnot and get engaged in that, that does help them be successful in the classroom as
Yes,
well.
ma'am.
And so we really promote that because we hear it. We have over, 115,000 living alumni
Yeah.
here at SFA. And every event that we do, they reminisce and they talk about
Yeah.
how they truly believe that organization made them the success they are today because it helped them get through all
Wow.
4 years, to graduate with that degree.
Yes.
It was that support that they feel they had. So I think that validates things for
Mhm.
me.
Okay. No, I like that because you get to see true, genuine, testimonials of, I missed that. I know what I did. Because as a student, sometimes I feel like, am I messing up for, doing these extracurriculars and not just in the library studying and everything else like that? But to know, no, this is part of life. This is one of the things that you're going to
Yeah.
need later on. And it made you that person you need to be. So that's exciting to hear.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. So do you have any advice for students, incoming students who are currently here, just for the rest of the semesters or upcoming semesters and the future of SFA?
Well, I would say get involved, as
Mhm.
we talked about. If you have the opportunity to lead, definitely, apply for a leadership role of some sort.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's, an experience you'll gain from that you won't get necessarily in the classroom,
Right.
but you might. But I sometimes read on social media about some of the students here and elsewhere
Mhm.
who stay in their dorm room because
Right.
they don't know what to do. They don't know how to get involved. And so I would just say reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Whether in that case, the story I was just telling you, if you're in your dorm, reach
Yeah.
out to your residence hall director. I mean, and maybe talk through, reach out to your counselors in your college and your
Right.
department and whatnot. Even student affairs, where all the
Mm-hmm.
organizations are. But that's another reason, Musa, that we need to promote how to get involved.
Yes.
And where these resources are, these programs are.
Welcome to the
Yeah.
cheat sheet.
There's
Yes.
so many of them. There's so many of them.
Yes.
But yeah, that would be my advice.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. So y'all absolutely know to stay involved. And that concludes today's episode of the Cheat Sheet. Thank you so much, Miss Jill Hill.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Musa.
I rhymed out the wrong way. I'm so sorry. When did you figure that out about your name rhyming? I do have to know. I'm
About a
sorry.
few days before I was legally married.
I like
There's
it.
no going back.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, thank you, Miss Jill Still, for joining us today and sharing your insight on university advancement and how it shapes the future of SFA. It's inspiring to learn about the vital role of alumni, fundraising, and community partnership in supporting the university's mission. To all of our listeners, don't forget to subscribe to the Cheat Sheet and follow us on social media and stay connected. This is King Musa signing off, encouraging you to keep growing, keep advancing, and keep telling your story. Y'all have a great day.